Welcome to the Reading Machine Workshop. In this month's workshop, we'll introduce you to some picture books that help to support children's mathematical development. Between the ages of 3 and 6, children are exploring big ideas that are foundation to lifelong mathematical thinking. Picture books are a wonderful tool to help teach these concepts. In this workshop, we'll introduce you to some books to explore these concepts, including Counts to 10 with Meaning, Recognizes Simple Patterns, Can Group Objects into Larger Sets, and Knows Basic Shapes and Colors, and can use directional words like up and down or over and under. Let's get started. Let's take a look at counting. When we're teaching counting, we're teaching students that 1, counting has rules that apply to any collection, be it buttons or books or coins or children in their classroom. And 2, counting can be used to find out how many is in a collection. For the youngest children, start small. Counting from 0 to 5 is perfect. They often love the book version of their favorite finger play, such as 5 Little Monkeys. From there, you can build up to a more complex story that incorporates the counting into the story, and we'll look at a few of those. You can begin to use mathematical terms, for example, how many altogether, count to check how many. You can use the terms different amount, same number, pair, half, dozen, and each. So let's take a look at some picture books where you can begin to use those terms. One of the favorites is Dog's Colorful Day. In this book, Dog is having a busy day, and students love to call out the color of the stain that Dog gets on his coat as he goes out for a walk and has some jam dropped on him, or as he rolls in the grass and gets a green stain. Children count the stains as they're added page by page. It goes up to the number 10, and they often love to count at each page. Later, an activity you can do after you've read the book is have the children roll a die to determine how many stains of each color will be on Dog, and then at the end of the activity, count up all the stains. Another book that's great for counting sets is Anno's Counting Book, and it begins with a snowy village scene at the number 0. Talk about each scene as you read the story. You can choose one set of pages and find all the examples of that number. So you can say the number and name the object that was counted. For example, 5 cats or 5 buildings. You can choose something to focus on through the entire book, 1 through 12. So in one reading of the story, you might focus on the number of buildings in the village, while in the next reading, you might focus on the number of people in the village or the number of animals. Let's take a look then at 10 black dots. And 10 Black Dots is a well-loved classic. Since its publication, children have thought creatively to answer the question, what can you do with 10 black dots? As the book progresses, 1 dot can make a sun or a moon, 3 dots become a snowman's face, and 8 dots become the wheels on a train. This book helps children to develop visual number sense. And this refers to a child's fluidity with numbers and their sense of what numbers mean.
Let's take a look at counting. I have 3 songs here to try, but there are many songs with counting in them, especially songs that have 5. It's very common for this age group. We're going to start off with the song Hickory Dickory Dock. I'm going to use a mouse puppet. You don't have to use a puppet for this one. You can use your finger or your hand. And it goes, hickory dickory dock, the mouse went up the clock, squeak squeak. The clock struck 1 and the mouse went, fun! Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse climbed up the clock, squeak squeak. The clock struck 2 and the mouse went, woo! Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse climbed up the clock, squeak squeak. The clock struck 3 and the mouse went, yippee! Hickory dickory dock, Hickory dickory dock, the mouse climbed up the clock. Squeak squeak, the clock struck 4 and the mouse went, no more, I'm tired. Hickory dickory dock. This one's really popular with kids, so I tend to use it a lot. Having him say no more is really funny. But also we have the math concept of counting. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Another one you can use is 1, 2, buckle my shoe. I have a felt board to go along with it. Of course, you don't have to use felt, you can just say it. 1, 2, buckle my shoe is great because it rhymes. So it allows kids to learn the words and memorize, since rhyming helps with that. It also counts by 2s, so we're getting a little bit more of a complex math concept, 2, 4, 6, 8. So I have a shoe with a buckle, a door, sticks that are then laid straight, and then a big fat hen, or a big hen. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, shut the door. 5, 6, pick up sticks. 7, 8, lay them straight. 9, 10, big hen. And then the last one we're gonna do is 5 little chicks. You can put them on the board, or you can use your fingers. I'll do both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little ducks went out one day, over the hills and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 quack. But only 4 little ducks came back. And you're going to count all the way down to 0. And then, sad Mama duck went out one day, over the hills and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 quack. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of her little ducks came back. So we're using the math concept of counting. We count down from 5 to 0, and then we count back up 1 to 5. And when you do this one, if you have enough ducks for kids in the class, it's really good to hand out a duck for each kid, and then they all come back at the end.
Patterns. From an early age, children notice and appreciate patterns in the world all around them. For example, one pattern children may notice early is that we go to school for 5 days and then we stay home for 2 days, and that 5 and 2 pattern is repeated throughout the year. Patterns and sequences of different kinds begin to pop up all over the place, especially in the books that children love. Pattern is what makes math make sense. And there are 2 structures that we want to help children identify as they begin to explore patterns. The first is that identifying the rule of a pattern brings predictability and allows one to make generalizations. And another is that patterns are sequences. They're repeating or growing, and they're governed by a rule. So let's take a look at a few picture books that children love and will help them to explore patterns. The first is Brown Bear, What Do You See? This book has a clear pattern that young children can notice quickly and then repeat. Teachers and parents can ask children to identify the words that repeat to help them see the regularity and rhythm in the story. Another book children love is The Napping House. The illustrations in The Napping House are fun and humorous and provide a great opportunity for children to identify a +1 growing pattern. Each page clearly shows the growing linear sequence and foreshadows what comes next.
Let's take a look at patterns. So patterns are a math concept since we are organizing things or trying to figure out what everything has to do with each other, which will then lead to more complex math concepts like equations. So to start with our pattern, it's good to practice sequencing. So this one is, I'm gonna put them all up together. The green grass grows all around. I have the green grass with a trunk and branches. And on those branches, we have some leaves. And on the leaves, we have a nest. And in the nest, we have an egg. I'm going to do the last part of that, but you're slowly building throughout the whole thing, so we're remembering more words as we go along. And in the nest, there was an egg, the finest egg that you ever did see, and the egg was in the nest was on the leaf was on the branch was on the trunk was in the hole, and the green grass grows all around, the green grass grows all around. What's this inside the egg? It's a bird. Let's do all of them together. And in the egg, there was a bird, the finest bird that you ever did see, do it all together. And the bird was in the egg was in the nest was on the leaf was in the branch was on the trunk was in the hole, and the green grass grows all around, the green grass grows all around. Slowly building up, learning that sequence. Okay, and then finally in the picture, I have an example of a pattern activity. You can make felt pieces like this, or have cardboard cut out pieces of shapes, and you just put them in order and have a pattern and say which is the next shape that goes in the pattern. So in that first example, we have red square, blue circle, red square, blue circle, blank, blue circle, red square, blue circle. What should be in the blank? That would be a red square.
Let's take a look at shapes. Everything in the world has a shape. The big ideas that we're helping children to explore with this concept is that shapes can be combined and separated. They can be composed and decomposed, or the math terms. And also that shapes can be defined and classified according to their attributes. For the older preschool kids, we're also helping them to understand that shapes can be two-dimensional and three-dimensional, and we'll start to have children work with boxes, pyramids, blocks, cylinders, and balls. So let's take a look at some of those picture books that help kids to explore shape. In Walter's Wonderful Web, Walter the Spider introduces readers to triangles, squares, circles, diamonds, and rectangles as he tries to weave the perfect web. Here's an activity idea. Weave your own web out of yarn around table and chair legs. Attach shapes for children to find. Another book about shapes that children will enjoy is Round is a Tortilla. In this story, a girl discovers a world of shapes all around her. Plazas that are square, flags like perfect rectangles, slices of watermelon that look like triangles, and much more. As you read the first pages, talk to your child about what round means. Is the whole trumpet round? Where is the camera round? Have a shape scavenger hunt. Give your child a paper or plastic bag with 2 or 3 shapes drawn on it. For example, circle, square, or triangle. And then he or she has to look around and collect at least one object for each of the shapes drawn on the bag. Another wonderful book, a new book, is Circle Under Berry. This book explores shapes, pattern, and color. It encourages readers to look at things from a different perspective. So, in the course of the book, these shapes are stacked and rearranged, and then the children or the readers are asked, is it berry over circle or circle under berry? And we'll take a look at more books with directional words in another slide.
So we can use shapes for patterns, we can use shapes for counting as well, but we're going to look at just shapes on their own. This is a song in Spanish called Que tengo aquí, Spanish and English. Que tengo aquí, que tengo aquí, what do I have here? Que tengo aquí. This one is round. What shape do I have here? A circle, circulo, un circulo, un circulo. I have a circle, un circulo. Que tengo aquí, que tengo aquí. What do I have here? Que tengo aquí. What shape is this? It has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides that are all the same length. It's a square. That's cuadrado. Cuadrado, cuadrado, I have a square, cuadrado. You can also use these cutouts to do air drawing shape activity where you have the kids put their hands out and say, let's make a rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make a circle. 1. And so forth. And then the last activity for shapes that I have is making a pizza. This one can be a pretty lengthy activity, and that's okay. We have a plain old pizza. It's pretty boring. And on that pizza, we can put, what shape is this? A triangle, that's our cheese. What shape is this? That is a circle, that's our pepperoni. What shape is this? A half circle, that is our mushroom. What shape is this? That is a square, that is our purple onion. And what shape is this? A rectangle. That is our green pepper. Now, how many pieces of cheese do you want to put on? And I can give you a number. All right, let's do 8 pieces of cheese. And then the kids can come up and do this with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 pieces of cheese. And then you go through all of them together to make your pizza. That way we're learning about shapes and colors and numbers and making a pizza.
Let's take a look at sets. A set is any collection that is grouped together in some meaningful way. Much of children's play involves thinking about and working with sets. In order to learn the names of things, children must create sets in their mind, like the sets of dogs. That includes their own dog, the neighbor's dog, and that dog that barks at us on the way to preschool. The big ideas that we're looking at when we're exploring sets with children are that sets can be compared and ordered. The same collection can be sorted in different ways, and attributes can be used to sort collections into sets. So let's take a look at some picture books that will help children explore this idea. In A Pair of Socks, the descriptive language in this book highlights the numerous qualities that a sock could have. It's a great way to launch activities to develop children's matching ability and their recognition of different attributes. Explore other ideas in this book, such as how else could the socks be sorted? Can they be sorted by color? Can they be sorted by whether they're clean or dirty, or by whether they're moms or dads or brothers? Another book that the children will like is Five Creatures. In this book, there are 2 cats and 3 humans in one home. As the story develops, we see how the creatures are all alike in some ways and how they're different in other ways. Each turn of the page shows us new groupings as they highlight what makes the creatures in this family who they are. And we'll also take a look at Opuestos. This book, that's in Spanish and English, is a great springboard for creating sets by using the vocabulary that's in the book. So this book has photographs of unique figurines that are made in Mexico, which give this math book a rich cultural context and sparks curiosity and wonder.
Another pattern is using a song from Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other. It goes like this. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the other by the time I finish this song? Can you tell what 3 have the same thing in common and then 1 does not have that in common? Semicircle, rectangle, and triangle are all shapes. Is H a shape? No, H is a letter. H is the one that doesn't match. And you could do this with all kinds of shapes and numbers and letters. So again, understanding what things are grouped together, what's a set, and what thing does not match with those.
So let's take a look at directional words. So as you can see, these are books that include directional words within the story. The first book that I'm going to go over is the book We're Going on a Ghost Hunt, which is a Halloween version of the book We're Going on a Bear Hunt. And in this book, the children are looking for a ghost, but it's also involving directional words like going over and under and around obstacles. The second book that we're going to briefly touch on is the book The Secret Birthday Surprise. In this book, the character Tim sets off on a treasure hunt to find a birthday surprise. In addition to directional words, this book teaches patterns, map reading, and shapes. And you can find these books and others at your nearby library.
Let's take a look at directional words. You can use your fancy 3rd grader word and say preposition. Or in other words, words like up, down, behind, in front. A great song for this is Thumbkin Dances Up. So show me your thumbs. Thumbkin dances up, Thumbkin dances down, Thumbkin dances all around the town, dancing on my shoulder, dancing on my head, dancing on my nose, and now we go to bed. What words in there were directions? Up, down, around, and on. Another song we can sing is The Wheels on the Bus. Here's my bus. You don't need a picture for this one, but if you have one, it's fun. We'll put our wheels in front of us. The wheels on the bus go round and round all through the town, and so forth for that one. So what are some directional words and wheels on the bus? Around, open and shut, and the driver on the bus says move on back. Back, going behind, is another directional word, and the kids on the bus go up and down. So this one's really good too because you're actually putting a hand motion to the directional word.
So now we are going to go over some precursor math concept for babies, which includes attributes, which are properties or qualities that allow us to describe and classify the world around us. Comparison, noticing sameness and difference. Pattern involves rhythm, sequence, and regularity that allows for prediction. And finally, change, when something becomes different. So let's look at some books that you can use that will be for babies. Our first book is called Clean Up, which is also going to be using those directional words that we had just briefly mentioned. You can also read Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So now we are going to go over some math resources. So what we have shown right here is the a website to the Erickson Institute, which is the Early Math Collaborative. You could also check out the book from your nearby library, which is titled Ready for School, A Parent's Guide to Playful Learning for Children 2 to 5. Or you can have your child go on abcmouse.com and they can practice some early math concepts there as well. Now this brings us to the end of our workshop. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this video on early math learning. You can find all the links and resources mentioned in the video, along with links to our other workshops in the description box below. Visit lacountylibrary.org for more information about library services and events. Thank you, and we hope to see you soon.